This wasn't my first BBL. 7 years ago, I made a decision that changed my body. But more importantly, it changed how I saw myself. I learned a lot from my first surgery. What worked, what didn't, and what I knew I would do differently if I ever did it again. This time, it wasn't about chasing a trend. It was about finishing what I started and doing it the right way. This process isn't glamorous, it's not pretty, and it definitely isn't easy. But it is real. And real doesn't come without risk. Real doesn't come without consequences. And this time, I'm showing all of it.
So the last time you guys see me, I was just preparing to leave to go to DR. And I am now back from DR. Everything just moves super fast. And I want to get down to the nitty gritty of everything that happened from the time that I landed to surgery, to recovery, and me coming back. Yeah, because child, it was a lot. It was a lot. It was a lot. It was a lot. But as you guys can see, the body is done. So, and don't judge me. I almost did not film this today because I'm not gonna lie, my face has been going swelling and then going down and then coming back up. I also have my faja on, so that's why I might look a little bit more like ooh at the top. I swear, I promise, when I don't have my faja on, I'm looking more snatched than ever and not looking huge up the top. Like I promise you. But I had to just put those disclaimers out there, but like I said, it was a lot that was going on. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it. I'm telling you guys stuff more surface here, but if you really want to get in detail of what was going on and what exactly was said, definitely go purchase my ebook. I dropped the ebook already. It's called the BBL Diaries, the Snatch, where I go in and I'm giving you diary entries of what exactly was being said, what was deterring me from one way to the other, and what was happening. Because a lot of that stuff, I don't want to put people on Front Street and talk about it here, but I want to give y'all, the people that's interested in actually getting surgery done, what was being said and what was going on, like what was happening. And so that will be available on my website, glammysauntie.com. Make sure you guys go check that out. It gives a lot of information. It's over 75 pages of just a bunch of info on post-op, pre-op, post-op, during surgery, contacts of information of people that you might want to know over there. Anything you think is surgery related, how I'm sleeping, what I'm eating, what I'm doing to make sure that my body is the most snatched it can be, coupon codes, all that kind of stuff, even things to do in Dominican Republic, all that stuff is in that book. So if you're looking for something to really give you a guide, even if you're not going to my doctor, I even listed other doctors in there that I would highly recommend that are in Cali, Colombia, Dominican Republic, and Miami. So it's a lot of information over there just on surgery, period. Not necessarily, it is entries guided towards my doctor, but it is a lot more information if you don't go to my doctor for your overall recovery experience. So y'all know I'm this is my second round, so I put information in there from there to that. I put my table pictures in there of what my body looked like. I put everything in there. Okay? Anything I can think of surgery related is in the book. Okay, so make sure you definitely go check that book out if you're interested in getting a more deeper dive on surgery. But like I said, I'm gonna give y'all some here, but I'm gonna give you it all. So when I got to Santo Domingo, I have never been to that part of DR. I've been to Punta Cana, so that's like more of like a beachy area, right? Well, I met my driver in the airport. He got my bags and he loaded them up. And when we were on the ride to the recovery house, it was about 45 minutes. And at this time, I was feeling kind of nervous, but it was so much going on. My nerves were a little like distracted. But this is when I realized that DR, I mean, I knew DR wasn't going to be giving very luxe at all, but I don't think I was expecting to see what I've seen. And this is no shade to DR, I'm just being honest. It is very, like, one of the places that I've seen that's like not very up and coming. Like, it was a lot of like broken down buildings. It was a lot of people that was living in like little smaller like makeshift homes. It was I don't want to say poverty, but it was giving kind of like not the best. was having second thoughts a little bit. I don't think I was having second thoughts to the point where I wasn't going to do it, but I was just having second thoughts of like, girl, what the hell is you doing? You really are in Dominican Republic about to get a BBL. Like, are you nuts? Are you insane? Like, that's what I was going through. Once we got to my recovery house, though, he has like a super huge like brick gate, and it was very nice inside the gate. Like, he has like it's like a gated community thing. So once you were inside there and they closed the gate, everything looked like, you know, more like comfortable for me. When I got in there, I was like looking at everything, and everything was looking up to par. Like, it was very nice inside of there. It was very clean. It was very comfortable. I got escorted to my room by my nurse, and you guys know I stayed in a single room. You could do a room shared, but I was in a single room. It was 2 beds in there, but it was just me. I didn't want to kind of share with any of the other girls because I just feel like I didn't know them. And at that point, you know, when you do recovery, you don't want to, like, with me personally, I'm going to pay for comfort. Like, I'm going to pay extra. Even if it's more, I'm going to still pay it because I feel like I want to be comfortable. I don't know what my response is going to be. I don't know if I'm in the late night, middle night, I want to have a light on. If I don't, or anything. So when I got to my recovery house, it was literally only one other girl that was there, and she had went to another doctor, I believe Dr. Cabral. So it was just us. Now, this recovery home actually can hold about 8 girls, I believe, like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, it can hold like 7 or 8 girls, but it was only just me and her there. So that didn't really help my nerves either, because, you know, sometimes when you're in a recovery house, you can actually talk to other people and, you know, just be like, oh, how was your surgery and all that kind of stuff. So honestly, it wasn't none of that. It was just me, the nurse, and I had brought a friend with me for like the first couple of days. But yeah, I was just kind of like, okay, like, what the hell? Like, I was just in shock. At that time, I think I'd left off with you guys. I did not know who I wanted to go to. I had 2 decisions of whether I wanted to go to Dr. Maria Fernanda or did I want to go to J. Raphael. And I just was kind of going back and forth, teeter-totter between both of them. I did deposits with both of them and spent like $1,500 in deposits. And I also scheduled my surgeries both on the same day. So at that point, it was just a matter of who do I want to go to? Like, who am I deciding to go to? And I still didn't know. I was talking to my nurses, and I was telling them, they was like, okay, so which doctor are you going to? Because we need to make sure we schedule your labs day. And I told them I was kind of in between the 2. And we were having conversations about the 2 doctors. And I feel like that, I'm going to be honest, with the conversations I was having, it wasn't really helping, because I feel like J. Raphael, he's not like a really popular doctor in DR for Dominicans, but I feel like Maria Fernanda is. And then it's also the difference in, you know, who's board certified, who's not, who has this type of clinic, who has this type of vibe, this type of bedside manner. It was a lot of different conversations that was going on, and, you know, ultimately I just had to sit with myself. I had to pray about it, and I was like, I'm going to go with the doctor that I feel like is going to give me the results I want, and I'm not going to be disappointed. Realistically, I really was talking to both coordinators, because I knew that with in the DR, you land, the next day is their labs day, and then the next day after that is surgery. So I kind of was going back and forth. I still was contemplating on what I wanted to do, who I wanted to go to. So I just prayed about it. I had the information of both labs day, because both labs day for them are different. And I said, hey, I'm going to pray on it. I'm going to sleep on it. And whatever I decide to do is whatever I decide to do. And that's the labs day I'm going to start with tomorrow. And I'm not going to lie, at that point, and once I really got to settle in, I realized that this was not just a thought. Like, this was really happening. It's about to go down, and I need to mentally prepare myself, because I think at that point, it felt like everything was, it could happen or it could not happen. But it was like, no, this is happening. Like, prepare yourself. This is about to go down. Okay? Day 2 in DR. I'm like, all right, I'm going to go ahead and pick with J. Raphael. I think that he's a doctor that's going to be able to give the look I want. I don't think I'm going to have any regrets. And, you know, if I get the look, like this is the look I'm going for. I think that with the other doctor, personally for me, this is not the bash. I think it was hit or miss. I could possibly get the look I want or possibly not. But with him, I just felt like confident in him. My gut was going with him, and that's where I'm going. So labs day can get pretty hectic, just depending. So we started around 7 a.m. and we had to drive into the city. We went to go get my blood work done so they can make sure everything is okay. I had already got my blood work done before I went, so you guys know I already knew everything was going to be a-okay. We reserved 4 bags of blood just in case I needed that during surgery. Next, I went and got my x-rays done. They took an x-ray of my chest so they can look in there and see if there was anything that needed to, you know, whatever. And then after that, I went to the heart doctor. I got an EKG done on my heart to make sure that I could withstand surgery. Like, they are very thorough with their process of getting everything done. When I did Miami, we didn't have none of that. So just to be mindful. So I got an EKG done. We got all these things done in the same building. And then after that, I went ahead to another doctor so that he could check my lungs. And then we had to do this blood test. I'm going to be honest, that blood test, I've never done nothing like that before. But it really takes a lot out of you.
Blow it hard. Continue. No. Oh, let me do it again. Sorry. Okay. Blow it hard. Continue. Take air. I'm about to pass out. Yeah.
And then it came back that my labs were faulty in my liver. My liver enzymes were high, which is crazy because if you watch my vlog, you know my dog's liver enzymes is high. And I don't drink anymore. I had been stopped drinking. I didn't understand why my liver enzymes was high, but they were high. So my doctor reviewed it and he said that he wanted me to go get an ultrasound on my liver to see if anything was going on with it. So I had to go to another clinic and get my liver, ultrasound on my liver. And once I got that, she didn't see anything in there, but what she did see, she seen I had a hernia. Did not know I had a hernia. So they found a hernia in my stomach, but that was nothing that was going to stop me from getting surgery. It was just like, oh, you have a hernia in your stomach, like, you know, boom, boom, boom. So after labs, the real big step next was meeting my doctor and telling him exactly what I want. And I was super duper nervous, like super nervous. So my driver, he drives us up to the clinic. I get in there, I greet the coordinator. This is the person I booked through my surgery. And after that point, I'm like, okay, I'm starting to kind of have mind, you know how your mind go blank because you just like nervous? Yeah, that was me. That was me. But once I got in there and met him, like, he was super sweet. He was super nice. Like, he was very, like, communicating as much as he could, but he had a warm spirit. But I could tell he was spicy and he did not play. And he like, let's get down to business. What do you want to give? What's that look going to be going for? How you trying to come? And when I showed him my wish pics and then he actually had me get fully naked and he seen my body, he was like, okay, this is something I can work with. He also, something I noticed, did not mark me up. And I took the other girls, they said he didn't mark them up either. He does not mark you up while he's talking you out it. So he knows the body's anatomy very well. He don't mark you up. He don't do no lines or nothing. He only did one mark on me for my legs so he could show me exactly where he was going to add the fat. But to be honest, if I knew what he was talking about, he wouldn't even need to do that. Like, it wouldn't need to happen. Okay. So yeah, after my consultation with him, I still felt confident that he could do it. Like, I felt even more better that he could do it. Like, I felt like, okay, he gonna ice my ish. Like, that's what I felt. I didn't really feel like he wasn't gonna be able to give me a look. I just was nervous for the overall procedure at this point. And then once I went back to the recovery house, I packed my little hospital bag of things I might need, like slippers, a dress, extra t-shirts, pads, bed pads, all that kind of, like, creams that I needed, Tylenol, just anything I might possibly need. So I didn't really have any nerves or anything like that. But surgery morning, I decided to take another bath because I knew after my bath, I took a bath before I took a bath the night before surgery, but I also took a bath that morning of surgery because I knew that would be my last bath in the Dominican Republic from a shower. So I washed it with my Hibiclens, and that's like some type of antibacterial soap or some type of special soap that they want you to take a bath with for surgery. So I washed up with that, and the root, like, it wasn't an eerie morning, but it was a very quiet, chill morning. I had my friend with me, and we got in the car with the driver. He picked me up around like 3:45 a.m. because I wanted to be the first person there, because I wanted to go first, because I knew I couldn't just sit around and wait. You know, like, if I sit and wait, this might not happen. Like, if I have too much time to sit and think about it, a surgery might not be going down. So I was like, you know what? I just need to get there first. I got there about like 4:20 a.m. and I felt like, okay, I felt calm. I don't know. I felt very calm. It was a very chill environment. I was keeping calm. I was just overall just really just chill. I was surprised at how chill I was. And then the second girl, she came in around like 4:40. We had to be there by 5. They said to get there around 4:40, but I was already there at 4:20 in the room. At that point, my doctor comes in, he talks to me again, and he says, "You want big hips?" I said, "No, not that big." And I regret saying that because I feel like I did want big hips, but I think that when he said big, it just kind of made me a little like apprehensive. And I know I told y'all don't do this, so please don't do this. But it ended up working out in my favor as of right now because my hips are a fairly good size, but I think that I just was, when he said it, I was just like, I took him back. I was like, like a little bit like, no. But he was like, well, I'm going to fill your hips because they're all not going to survive. And I was like, okay, just do what you got to do. So as of right now, where my hips is, I love them. But at that moment, I literally said, no, like not that big. But I did want big hips. I don't even know why I did that. That was just stupid. But you know, I got to keep it real with y'all and tell you the truth of what happened. So that's what happened. And he said, okay, you're going first. I said, okay, fine. And then he left. I believe he went to do the consultation with the other girl. The anesthesiologist, she comes in, she talks to me, and we have a picture. We're like communicating and stuff. And then she says to me, would you like the pain pump or would you not like the pain pump? I was like, you know what? Last time my pain tolerance was really high from a BBL, but I was like, you know what? I don't know this time because I'm older. I'm just older, and I feel like I don't know how my body's going to bounce back from this. So I was like, yeah, give me the pain pump. So she was like, okay, when you wake up from surgery, somebody will come in and put it in. I was like, okay, that's fine. And she said, I'm going to go get you this pill. And when I bring you back this pill, you take the pill with the water. When I give you this pill, after that, you're going to go. When I tell you, they came in with that blue pill. I can never pronounce the name of it, but I know what it is. This is the name of it. This is what it is. I've heard from many girls, you take the pill, you super drowsy and blah, blah, blah. They gave me that pill. I literally do not remember anything after that pill. And y'all know I'm a vlogger at heart because I ended up turning my camera on. I don't even remember turning my camera on. I don't remember nothing. All I remember is I was sitting there, I had my Bible, I prayed, and I'm glad I prayed before she gave me the pill because I don't remember anything after the pill. So once she gave me that damn pill, I was out of there. Like, I don't remember nothing.
I feel like she gave me that pill, but they need to go over here and scoop me up and take me. Sherry, please. It's like I can see, but I'm not like presently talking. And while you in there, it asks you, do you want the recovery pump, and you gotta pay in advance. I already have it. I'm trying to do something new. Trying to focus.
You can't change colors.
I'm not even lying. I feel like when I'm talking to you, I see your face, but it's another face behind it.
Oh yeah.
Is this how it is?
You need to lay back. I don't want you to fall and hit the floor.
You be lay?
I want you to scoot back in.
You think I'm gonna hurt myself?
Hit the floor. You want me to stop it?
No. This is real.
Okay.
Real deal story.
Bed. I don't need you falling down and hurting yourself. Be careful.
They gave me a pill too early.
No, you can sit. You got it. There you go.
Until I looked back at the footage days later and I was like, oh my God, this is all happening. Like, literally. That pill, I don't know if it's, I don't smoke. I had stopped drinking months prior. I don't do any type of drugs. I don't really take any medicine or nothing. So I don't know if I was just super pure and very like susceptible or what was ever going to happen. But that pill, I don't remember nothing. I was waking up a little bit and I was just like kind of looking around and stuff. So I thought from when I took the pill, I must have fell asleep on my hospital bed. And I'm just waking up. This is like me just waking up to get ready to go into surgery. Wake up, I look down, I see a blanket on me. I'm like, what the heck? I was like, who put a blanket on me? Maybe they put a blanket on me to make me comfortable. Girl, I pull my blanket back. I see the files on me. I said, oh, I said, I had surgery? And they're like, I said, I had surgery? No. And it was like, literally, it felt like I took the pill, I fell asleep, I woke up, and I had surgery. I don't remember nothing. I didn't feel any pain. I didn't see anything. I saw blood on my faja, and that's when my doctor came in and started cleaning my faja and stuff. And I'm just like, I had surgery. Like, I can't believe I even had surgery that it went that quick. Like, I remember in Miami, I had to walk in the back, and they had to do a countdown for me to go under anesthesia, and like all kinds. I don't remember nothing. I don't remember nothing. I don't remember anything. All I remember is waking up, right? Surgery happened. I didn't wake up. I heard a lot of my friends tell me that they have woken up through surgery due to the anesthesia they use. Like I said, I talk about that in my book, but I didn't wake up, thank God. I remember my doctor, he was in there. He was cleaning me off because I had blood on my faja. He was cleaning that off. And then I also remember seeing the other nurses, but they don't speak any English. And to be honest with you, I think I started freaking out. I was like talking to them and they were very rude down there. Like not my doctor, but the nurses, they were rude. They were mean. They were just sitting there. Like they basically was just sitting there to watch me. I didn't understand what was going on, but using context clues, I ended up having to have 3 blood transfusions because I had pulled from so many different areas, like my arms, my thighs, the stomach, my back. So I ended up having to get a transfusion. So I was getting the blood transfused into me at that point. And I basically was talking to them, but they was being like a-holes. So I talk about that, and I really get in details to talk about this in my book. And if also, I want to be honest with you. If you're going to my doctor, you need to get my book because there's some things in there that I talk about that I'm not going to speak about online, but I will say it in my book. But girl, I go and I'm like, kind of like, me and the lady are going at it. Like, she's really speaking Spanish, but she's kind of getting on my nerves because she's not being nice. Like, and I am waking up from anesthesia. So I don't think I'm really being that nice either. So at this point, whatever. I'm getting my anesthesia. I kept telling her, I was like, I want to go upstairs. And she was like, basically telling me I have to wait. I think I stayed down there for maybe 2-3 hours. But you got to think, it's no TV in there. It's nothing. You literally sitting there looking at them with the mad face. So I was over. I was ready to go. I was ready to get the freak back upstairs, like where my people's at. My overnight nurse and my friend. So also, as I was complaining so much, I don't know. But they took me upstairs finally. And once I'm going upstairs, this lady's like, the mean nurse, she's like, oh, don't record me. Still recorded her because whatever. And it was just like while I was coming in. So this is another thing. So once I'm laying there, I'm laying on the bed and then I am looking at myself. Like after my doctor cleaned me up and stuff, I'm just sitting there looking at myself. I'm looking and then I realized, I said, oh my God, my legs don't move. I realized my legs don't move. And then that's when I remembered, I was like, oh my God, they gave me an epidural shot. And I'm going to be honest, that was the first time I ever experienced anything like that. I didn't feel my legs, so I didn't panic because I already knew what to expect because nobody ever told me that I was getting an epidural shot. I already knew from talking to my friends that I was getting an epidural shot. So with my legs, I knew I wasn't gonna be walking, but nobody told me that. So I already knew that. So I woke up, legs not moving. So I really can't do anything. And then I have a catheter in. It's my first time with a catheter in. I don't feel anything down there. Nothing. I see my friend, I see the overnight nurse, and I'm asking them, like, what's going on? Like, what happened? And she was like, girl, you went in surgery, you got out of surgery, I believe around 9 a.m., and you hadn't came back upstairs yet. So we were worried, and we had to go downstairs and talk to them and ask them, like, what is going on? We need to see you. We need to lay eyes on you, because they're saying, oh, she's down in recovery. But this is Dominican Republic, let's be honest. So they could say something down there, and then it's something else going wrong. So they were super worried upstairs about me. So they had actually came downstairs. They said when they came downstairs, I was up and I was talking, but my nurse, I know my nurse really well, because she was the lady that took care of me when I was at the recovery house. Like took me to my room, got my food. Like, we had a really good relationship and rapport. She said that when she went down there, she was talking to me, and I was just like, who are you? Like, what's going on? Like, I basically didn't have any clue. So I think I was up, but I just wasn't fully, my mind wasn't together. And that's actually a crazy experience, because when I tell you, like, it's nothing like that. Like, girl, I wasn't nervous. I didn't feel scared at this point. I was just thanking God that it was over with. I was really just happy that I had made it out alive on the flat side. I was back in once I was back in my own hospital room, I was like perfectly fine. I had my little iPad, I had my TV, they brought me like some juices and drinks. I had somebody to talk to, I was on the phone, I was doing my own thing. So I was fine. The only thing is I couldn't walk. So I made her start like moving my feet, and I was trying to move my feet myself, because I'm like, girl, I can't sit up in here with no movement. Like, if it's a fire or something, I need to get up. So I just was like forcing it, because she was like, you're going to walk tomorrow, don't worry about it. I'm like, no, I'm going to walk tonight. So a couple hours after that, I started like kind of filling my catheter in, and that's when I knew my feeling was coming back in my lower half. And she got me up, and I was taking baby steps to try to walk and stuff, and I was moving around the clinic, and that's when I could see my body. So when I got out, I was still very little, but I was like a little hippie. But as the night progressed, I started to get more fuller. Like, my butt started getting bigger, my hips started getting bigger, my waist was getting a little bit bigger. But at this point, I never had no boards or no foams, and it was just my body composition, I guess, with like the fluids and everything starting to settle. So yeah, girl, I was starting to expand. Currently right now, I do have my boards in and my stuff, so I do look a little bulky, but yeah, then I didn't have anything in. I was just trying to walk and get around, and I was moving around. I did not really have any pain, because I didn't feel anything, and then the pain pump was in me. Pushes like medicine in your body, so I knew I was going to be good. I wasn't going to feel anything for the next couple of days, and I finally started walking around. I needed like to hold on to something to walk around, and I also knew that I had my IV bag on there, because once my transfusions were done, they started like doing a saline drip, I believe, inside of me. So, and that's another story. They put too many bags. Once one ran out, they put another one. Once that ran out, they put another one. They did too many. And I think that's why I had this overload amount of fluids in me. And even now, my body is trying to translate those fluids out, because my face starts getting big sometimes it doesn't. It's a lot with the swelling. So, yeah, so that was my story at the hospital. I didn't really have any issues. I was fine. The next day I woke up, my doctor, he comes in, he checks on me. He even cleans my hand off from my IV sticker tape being like the sticky residue on me. He asked me that I like my body. I said, yeah, I like my body. It looks really good. And he just told me, just take your medicine. And it's a list of medicine they give you. And just basically take that medicine and go home, and I'll see you in 2 days for your massages. My doctor wakes us up in a stage 2 faja. Stage 1 is very soft. I feel like it's pointless. I woke up in that in Miami, and then I kept it on for like a month, because I didn't know no better. You're supposed to switch out of the stage. You only stay in the stage 1 faja for maybe a couple days to a week, if that, maybe a couple days. So with us, he starts us immediately in the stage 2. He starts you snatch. Like, he don't play. Love that, because let's get down to business. We know why we all came here. After that, they arranged my transportation. They had to take my blood levels again in the morning to make sure that my hemoglobin levels was up. And then my hemoglobin levels was up enough that I could go back to my recovery house. I think I had to wait until they were like 11 and a half. Some girls had to end up staying for 2 to 3 days from other doctors, like because their blood would not take and they couldn't get their hemo levels up. Thankfully for me, I was able to get my hemo levels up, and I was able to go. Like, once it happened, I was able to go. So I had my 3 transfusions, and then I took my little saline solution. They put the little saline mask in me, and I was ready to go the next morning, and I could go. We just had to make sure my hemoglobin was like 11.5, and that was enough. I think it should be at least a 12, but I was like, I wanted to go. And I'm like, I'm ready to go. Like, I'm ready to get up on and out of here. And they was like, okay, you can go. Overnight nurse, she was really good. Like, I loved her. And if you're interested in booking her, I will have her information in my book, because I don't want to put people's information out here, but she was really good, super sweet. Whenever I woke up, she woke up. Whenever I needed something, she was super helpful. You do have to book your own overnight nurse. They don't provide you with an overnight nurse. You have to bring your own with you. So I had already had 2 nurses in mind of who I wanted to choose, but I ended up choosing her. And yeah, so if you want to book her, but it's 2 on there. I have 2 overnight nurses that are really, really good. Really, really good. So you can pick between the both of them. I had Alexa, but when I say Ruth, she's T. I love Ruth too. Ruth is really, really good. Alexa's younger. Ruth is a little bit more like seasoned, but I love them both. If I had to go back, I would probably pick both of them. Like they both are just really, really good nurses. So once I got discharged, that's when the real recovery started to begin. When I was going to the recovery house, because now this is the process of we're starting to heal. When I get back to my recovery house, everything is pretty much the same, y'all. It's literally, if you want an in-depth, I did vlog on my vlog channel where you can see day by day exactly what happened. But the process was I started waking up at like 5:45 a.m. I went to my clinic. I got massages done with the young lady there. I was getting those massages. And then I also was getting massages in my recovery house, which I felt like were a little bit more better and a little bit more contouring and all that kind of stuff. So I went to her. If I would bend over, fluid was coming out. Like I would do this, fluid coming out. Look, I could squeeze my own arm at that time, fluid would come out. So I did like it though, because it was helping get the fluid out faster. Because before I got my first massage, I was feeling very huge. Like I felt like stuffy. So I don't know what it was, y'all. I don't know, but the fluid would come out, and then sometimes when I would get a massage, fat would come out of me. I was freaking out about that. I'm like, I'm squeamish with needles and stuff, so I don't even like seeing the incision with the fat, with the juice coming out and the fluid and the blood. Now I'm seeing fat come out. Oh, it was about to send me. So when she would do my massages, I just wouldn't look. Like I would either put headphones in. I had to tune out because I was like, this is too much for me. A lot of girls said some passed out. Some would like scream. I'm not a screamer. I'm not going to like scream for nothing or none of that. So I was cool with that, but it did hurt in the first couple of days. But it's true. The more you get, the less it hurts. But that's a mental process you have to be ready for. Okay. You have to really be ready for it. But my day to day ended up being waking up 6:45 a.m. No, waking up 5:45 a.m., leaving my recovery house by like 6:30, getting to the clinic at 7 a.m. She would massage me from 7 to like 7:20, and then like a mini massage. And then I would go back to my recovery house, eat breakfast, lunch. Then I would get another massage done by them. That massage would last for like an hour, sometimes a little bit over an hour. And she would massage every ounce of me, pushing the fluid out and stuff like that. And then I would go to bed. And I would just do this process over and over again. Sometimes in between, I would go to the faja store down there at Casa Colombia, get my faja taken in.
I would have warned them.
Yes, my little faja getting shown. Oh, wee. And because my waist, I believe when I started, if I'm not mistaken, it was like a 33, 34. By the time I was getting my faja tightened up, get my waist tightened in, I took my waist in probably about 5 inches because I was constantly every 2 days getting it tightened, getting it tightened, getting it tightened. So it was like the bottom half of me was maybe like a 2XL. The top of me was dang near hitting on like a small. So small, I don't think it was extra small, but it was like a small. So it was like the curvature was there. My hips was there. My butt, I felt like was huge, but my hips was there. I wish I had never told him no, because I feel like he would have just packed my hips up, but that's on me. I shouldn't have said that. I got kind of nervous. I didn't really, I did have like a lot of tenderness all over my body, but it wasn't unbearable. And my soreness wasn't that unbearable. One thing I do know is I'm not a stomach sleeper. I don't like sleeping on my stomach. So for like the first day and a half, 2 days when I was back at the recovery house, I really was sleeping on my butt. I was in like a medical bed, so I was like angled up, and I had my bobby pillow underneath me, and I was asleep. And I don't think it smushed my butt at all. Like, I feel like everybody in the country sits on their butt often. They're just sitting on either a bobby pillow or a BBL shelf pillow. But in Miami, they're like, no, you can't use a BBL chair. You don't use a boppy. Don't use this. Don't use that. That's because they know they're not packing it up like that. So they like, look, it's whatever I gave you, I need you to make it last. I feel like with me, even right now, I'm kind of sitting, but I'm like sitting off a little bit. But even right now, I'm sitting, but I'm sitting off a little bit. I've been sitting the like whole time. But I always make sure I have something under me. I don't have something under me today, right now, but usually I always have something under me. So that's somebody for them to do their own statistics and reasonings on why that, because when I tell you I've been sitting and been everything okay, but I know my butt is huge, so that's why. The thing I struggled with the most was my emotional health, my mental health. And I think being in a repetition every single day, doing all these different things, your recovery house with them, the recovery house I stayed in, they're very, not strict, but they're very on top of you. Like, where are you going? What are you doing? Who is this? What are you like? So I think that with that kind of recovery, it's really good to make sure you're okay, because they're taking your vitals. They're making sure you're eating. They're doing this. They're trying to track, did you go to the bathroom today? How many bottles of water did you do? But with me, it was like, I've never been micromanaged like that. I live alone. I have been for a long time. Like, I don't really have a lot of people around me unless I choose to. So I think emotionally and mentally, I needed to get out the house. And I wish I had started like incorporating that. But they also say the DR is super, they said you got to be careful. They had told me a story time about a girl that she had got picked up in an Uber, and then basically somebody tried to kidnap her. Like, he put her in an Uber. She got in an Uber. Once they was riding, he literally changed. He canceled the ride, and I guess he was about to, and the recovery house owner had to go get her. It was another story where another young lady, she was standing outside waiting for the Uber, and somebody rolled by with a motorcycle bike and like try to grab her belongings.
So she ordered Uber. So the Uber, the mark, the location, it pinned the clinic had 2 sides or 3 sides, right? So she ordered the thing, and I guess she didn't notice, or maybe, I'm not sure exactly how that happened, but the location that the Uber was in was on the other side of the clinic. So she comes out, and she's like, the guy's like, oh, I don't know, I'm not there, this is where I'm at. And she's walking over to that guy. Let me tell you something, the walk was long, and it was solitary. A motorcycle stopped and grabbed some of her things. Thank God, another person that was coming out of the clinic that noticed that she was in the clinic, they stopped, and they prevented him taking all her stuff.
So I feel like that I was wanting to get out to be more independent, but I also knew I had my fire on. You could tell I had surgery. No, you're not seeing it, but you can tell it's under my clothes. So I didn't want to just walk around and be given walking licks. So I was in a place of like, I want to do this, but I ain't able to do this. So I don't know. It was just one of the things where I had to schedule rides to go to places that during the day where I felt comfortable. And after a while, I did start going to get out. Like, I just couldn't stick it. I had a whole breakdown in the bathroom where I was crying. The recovery house owner had came out there. He was trying to get me out of the bathroom. The nurses were trying to get me out of the bathroom. Like, I was like, I'm not doing it. I can't take it. This is too much. I feel like I'm about to flip. I need to get up out of this house. And luckily, my recovery house owner, he really cared. Because, girl, he came, scooped me up in his truck, and took me to a oceanfront restaurant. I went and got some food. I ate, felt like myself. Like, my life was so surrounded around surgery, I couldn't take it. Like, I was crashing. Like, mentally, I could not, I don't know how people do it in solitary confinement, or people that just stay confined in their room. Like, I like to be in my room, my bed, if I have a choice, but when that choice is like, you're limited, like, even outside, we couldn't even really walk outside because, I was nervous to even walk to the store up the street. I'm like, what if somebody try to get me? Like it was just so much. So I did, after a while, just was like, I got to take the risk and go. So I did start booking. I didn't do Uber, but I started booking drivers, and then I would like book the driver, and I would like send me a picture of your license. I would take the license picture, show my recovery house. They didn't ask me, but I was doing this. I was also sending it to my mama and them, like keeping a track record of who was picking me up and where I was going. I only picked drivers from word of mouth of ladies that told me that they had used those drivers before, because I didn't want nobody doing no sketchy stuff. Or, you know, you got like post-op care of, you got to ride on, you're not going to ride over a bunch of speed bumps. You can help me get in the car and out of the car. You can help me put my pillow there. You can help me adjust. So these drivers are equipped, that I put in the book, that are equipped for helping you to recover with post-op recovery. You know what I'm saying? So that was a thing in itself. That was the only time I emotionally felt overwhelmed and in pain, because I absolutely was like, this is a lot. But to be honest, as the days started going on, I really started feeling like myself, especially when I was able to go out and get in the field of doing stuff, you know? And like I said, I also was having a lack of communication, because at this point, I think 4 other girls did come in. 2 of them had surgery, so they were very bedridden. Like, they couldn't get up, they wasn't moving, they was having a very hard recovery. Then the one girl, she was there, she was often always at her clinic getting like the oxygen chamber, all this other stuff. So I didn't really have anybody that was healing at the rate. So as you could tell, I didn't really have anybody that was healing at the rate that I was. So that was like like most time girls was like, oh, I got my surgery sisters or this, that, and that. Like, I didn't have that. Like, I had my surgery sisters of girls I was talking to before I went in for actual surgery. But like having that bond throughout the recovery house, no, because either they was healing or they had just left. It was only there for the one girl. She was on there for like 2 days. And then by the time I got her surgery, she wasn't there no more. So it was like a real thing. When I started doing more active stuff, I tried to go get like a spa day, but that didn't really work body wise, because the lady, she just was not listening. She actually was not listening. I went to Divine Aesthetics and she wasn't listening with my body, but they wanted, so I was like, okay, y'all, I just told them, I was like, I'm not going to get it done no more. I just want to leave. And then they offered me a free facial. So I got a facial. That was really cool, because then I ended up getting to do like a facial analysis of my face and let me know, like, do I have any wrinkles? Do I have any freckles? Do I need to pay any attention to more aging spots on?
You have a good skin.
Thank you.
Your skin is pretty.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What do you think I need to work on?
You need to try to... Do you use vitamin C? Right here.
My whole face?
Yes.
And what happened?
The pore, when I make it the facial, is, you know, the open pores for the vapor. But that means it's not that bad, because the pores didn't close it. Or because you have a T-zone more oily, and this side is...
I also went to one of my little favorite restaurants in DR. It's called D. Lewis.
Okay, my food is here. So I ended up getting, remember I told you I got the fish with the vegetables. It's so good. The fish and the vegetables. The garlic shrimp is so good. It might not look the best, but child, sheepy tea. And then I got the white rice. And I got me a Sprite.
And it's waterfront. The food is really good. Like, I had got like this snapper, this grilled snapper with these veggies. Oh my God, it tastes so freaking good. I went out there by myself. I enjoyed it. They also had like a little parade that was happening on, so I could kind of watch that. I also went and got my teeth whitened. I think that was like $350. And you got to be mindful now with getting your teeth whitened, because your teeth will be super, super sensitive. But my teeth was only sensitive for like the first 5 hours. After that, I was good. I got my teeth whitened. And at first I didn't know if I seen a difference, but I definitely see a difference now. So my teeth looks really good. I love my teeth whitening that I got from them experience. I wanted to get like some facial fillers or something. I really wish I went and got chin lipo. I'm not gonna lie, because my face, it keeps fluctuating. It keeps going up and then it keeps going down from the swelling. But yeah, neither here nor there, didn't get that done. But I really overall just started feeling like more human. I was able to really get out in the city of Santo Domingo and just explore, just do something other than sitting in my dang own room. Like, I needed a change of scenery, and just me getting outside and doing just that little bit was just enough. I don't really know a lot of the misconceptions with the BBL theory in surgery because I don't really get involved with that. But I will say one thing that's really not spoken about is arm lipo. Y'all, my arms are the only thing that is aching on me at this time. Like, yeah, my stomach is a little tender, but with my foams and boards in, like, girl, nothing. I don't feel nothing. But when I tell you, my arm lipo is the only thing that hurts. Like, my arms still hurt to this day. Like, they are not in excruciatingly pain, but they're still, like, very much so, they ache. Your arms, I guess it's just a very sensitive area, because when I tell you, my arms are still in pain. They're probably gonna be the thing that's the longest in pain. That's what a lot of people were saying afterwards. So that was one thing that was a misconception. One thing that I feel like people don't really speak on. Number two, I also feel like that for certain doctors, they feel like you need to gain weight to make it easier on them. Other doctors, I don't feel like you need to gain weight. I think with my doctor, I didn't need to gain any weight. Like, if I knew I was going to go to him, I did not need to gain any weight because he was going to be able to pull the fat and get it anyway. And I would have been able to be my same size. I'm like currently like I was 173 before surgery. I gained 10 pounds for surgery, which was 180, 380. Yeah, about 183. And now I am 199 pounds. And that's due to, people keep saying, oh, it's due to the fluids. It's due to this, it's due to that. I really genuinely want to get down back to like 180. Like, I would be happy at 175, 180, but I can't stay this big. Like, I think my waist is snatched and, you know, she's giving, but I got my face, I got to get that face down. Like, that is, I don't think people anticipate on the swelling like with aggressive lipo. I feel like when I got my Miami lipo done, it wasn't as aggressive, so maybe it wasn't that many areas of swelling. But my legs,
like, I don't know, I know y'all don't know what my toes look like in real life, but they have never been this big. My knees have never been this big. My knees and my feet have absolutely never been this big. I did not want to sit on my butt, so I got my BBL pillow, but it was no way I could elevate my feet without like doing this.
super huge and swelling. If I don't keep them propped up every now and then, my face will blow up at the drop of a hat, even if I'm not eating any salt or anything like that. Like, my face will get big, like, no question about it. She's gonna grow in size. And it's just so up and down. Some days she's smaller, some days she's not. And half the time I won't even be able to tell until I look at myself. I'm like, oh no, I don't want to get comfortable with this look, because this is not the look I want with my face. Like, I think I'm still pretty. I think I still look T, but I'm just being realistic with y'all. My face, the swelling, I don't know. It does look bulky up here. Like I told y'all, it's my faja on and pushing everything up. So I'm not, my body, I'm fine with that. Even my arms, I feel like I definitely can tell they have went down. But my face, oh no, I'm not playing those games. It's nothing that I wish I did before surgery, and it's really nothing that I didn't expect. I feel like that my healing process has overall been fairly cool. I think if I could switch and do anything differently, I probably would have took my avocado floaty with me. That's what I sleep in, or my BBL chair. I would have took that with me to the recovery house. I thought they might have something like that there, but they didn't. And also, I wish that I was more prepared for the massages, because I was not expecting the fluid and all that stuff to come out like that in the massages. Far as my doctor, I will say that he was really good with his bedside manner. I seen him maybe like 4 or 5 times after surgery. I seen him at least once before surgery. He checked on me, but I ain't gonna hold y'all. I had some stuff happen when I got home. So one of the biggest things that I feel like had happened, which really delayed my process in coming back, was my legs had gotten super big and were super swollen. So I ended up having to get wheelchair assistance when I got to the airport because my legs were just so big. And I got in a wheelchair, sat down, and then I went on a plane. That was perfectly fine. Got off the plane, got on a wheelchair, and came home. And I was home for the first 2 days, and my leg swelling would not go down, even with me keeping them propped. And the main sign of having a blood clot is swelling in one of your legs is bigger than the other. I kind of thought one of them started getting bigger than the other. I wasn't for sure, though. So I ended up having to go to the hospital. And when I went to the hospital, they did a D-dimer test on me, which is one of the tests that they can find out whether you have a blood clot. And they literally, as soon as I walked in the hospital, as soon as I told them that, and they looked at me, and then they did my blood work, they immediately rushed me in the back. So they thought I had a blood clot because my D-dimer test had came back crazy. But she told me that she didn't know if it was crazy because of the surgery or if it was crazy because I really had a blood clot. So they were like extensively looking for this blood clot. They literally took me in the back. They did x-rays of my lungs. They did x-rays of my legs. An ultrasound of my legs. They did a CT scan, which was horrible. It ended up like, basically it's like they're putting ink through your veins and they're trying to find out where this clot is. Girl, when I tell you, they literally pushed that ink through and it bruised my arm so bad. I'm gonna show y'all. Like, it was crazy. It was horrible. And then another thing, so after me running all those tests and stuff, they realized that I didn't have a clot, and they were able to go ahead and send me home because I was staying in the hospital and they were thinking about keeping me overnight. But I was like, no, I think I can go home. So they let me go home, and then after a couple of days and stuff, I started doing things differently, and that's when stuff started changing for me. But at first, girl, they thought I had a freaking clot. I was like, oh my God. Like, but before that, before I left DR, I had started getting a breakout on my back. And it was something that, okay, so with me, if I'm ever around, you can't wash my stuff by hand and then put my stuff in the dryer because I will break out. So I wasn't aware. So when I was at the recovery house, like one day the water had went out, which was okay because they brought us in filter water, cool. But then another day the washing machine wasn't working. And when the washing machine was not working, the nurses ended up washing my faja by hand. I wasn't aware of this because when they washed it and dried it and brought it back to me, it was still clean. It was still smelling good. So they washed it by hand, and they ended up drying it. So I started getting a breakout on my back. I didn't know what the breakout was. And I brought it to my doctor's. I brought it to my masseuse's attention at the clinic, but I told her to tell them. And I think a day went by. I came back the next day. She hadn't told them yet or something. Or she said she told them and they didn't do nothing yet. So I was like, oh, no, you need to do something. Like, I had to really, press it. But once I reiterated, I was like, no, you need to do something because it looks like it's getting worse. Because at first it started as, like, really red. And then it started looking like little bumps rising. It looked like almost chicken pox. And then it really started changing color. I'm like, oh, no. So they gave me medication and stuff. And then my doctor actually reached out to me and he was like, look, just take this medicine. Make sure you take this cream. Make sure you do it daily because if you don't, it's not going to stop spreading. He's like, I don't know if you're breaking out from the anesthesia or if you're breaking out from your faja and the way it's being washed. Because he asked me, he was like, are you taking baths every day? I'm like, yes, I'm taking really good baths every day. So I don't know if it was between the two. I think it was the faja thing because this was like more later towards the end of my recovery because I stayed in DR for about 15 days. Girl, when I tell you, I had to take that medicine and stuff, and it did end up healing the rash up, but it left me with the scars from the rash, like the little marks and stuff. So I actually started getting on tretinoin and alicic acid, and these are supposed to be some things that are going to get the scarring done. It takes like a month. They said like at least a month and a half, 2 months to work, but I had to do something. I really don't like discoloration or discolored marks on my body. So I try to clear up as much as possible. So those are the misconceptions of things that those were the main things that I was not really used to with my first round, was the rash on my back from the faja not really being washed the best, or not even washed the best. It could be washed the best, but that's just how my body works with, stuff, because I've had something like that similar happen before. But what do I feel like now? So now that I'm back at home, I will say that I am happy with the doctor I chose. I wish that I hadn't got too scared when he said big hips, because I knew I wanted big hips. So I don't know why I did that. But I overall feel like I had a fairly great experience. I think it was a way better experience for me in the Dominican Republic. I would definitely go back. If I was to get anything else done, I would definitely go back to the Dominican Republic, because I felt like they were just so much more thorough than the United States, and how they run their protocol prep for surgery. I think the biggest thing for me right now is I have to stay out the mirror. My body changes so often. Like one day I can look at myself, I look super, super slim. And then another day I can look at myself and I look like a block. Or I look like my butt's smaller. Or I look like my hips is bigger. And then it's just a whole thing. And your body is constantly changing. One, because I'm constantly tightening my faja. Two, because I go get massages daily, and then it's about what I'm eating, and then how much activity am I having with walking. So it is a process of doing stuff, right? I am about to start back going to the gym. I'm not going to do nothing crazy, but I'm going to do more workouts like upper body, just so I can help like stretch my arms out and stuff, because that is a thing that I also feel like too. My arms are not as like, I can do this and stuff like this because I'm doing it, but like anything of what my arms used to be, they seem a little bit more strict and a little bit more tighter. But overall, I had a really good experience. I really hope you guys enjoyed this series. It was a lot. I got a lot of backlash from it. I think that was one of the biggest things too, that I wasn't expecting to get so much backlash, because the first time I did it, it wasn't a big deal. But I think that so many people have an input and want to say something, and then they be like, well, don't put your life on the internet if you don't want other people to say something. It's not that I don't want you to say something, but how do you have opinion on my body? Like, I'm not your child. I'm not your child. I'm not your friend. I'm not, like, you don't even know me. I'm literally telling you my experience, and then you're gravitating towards that if you want to get your body done or if you don't. Like, this, like, so you don't have an input on my life or what I want to do. Now, the people that I fool with, my supporters that been here for a while, cool. I love y'all. Y'all might not want to get your body done, but you still want to watch the support. Or you might not fully want to be in support of me getting my body done because you don't believe in plastic surgery. That's fine too. You don't have to say it. It doesn't matter to me anyway, because I have to do what I want to do. It's some people right now that tell me I shouldn't wear weave. It's some people right now that tell me that I shouldn't wear makeup. I still shouldn't go out to the club after I got baptized. It's so many different things that's being said, but it's like people at the end of the day are going to do what they want to do. So I think that was a thing, but you know, overall, I am happy with the way my body looks. And I am happy with the way that I feel about my body. And I don't really have any regrets. I think I picked the best doctor for me, and I'm happy with the doctor I chose. And outside of those little complications that I had that really, I don't know if they had anything to do with the surgery or not, but just my face breaking out, or, well, my face swelling does have something to do with surgery, and other things like, other than that, I'm just in my healing era right now. Like, I want people to know that the recovery does not end just in DR. Like, I literally have to get massages every other day. I spent, so far on massages, $1,800. And I'm just now like, what, a month post-op? Like, I really have been, like, I really be putting, like, I feel like that the post-op recovery costs more than the actual surgery. Like, it just does, because it's like I've put in so much more time and effort into the post-op recovery. New fajas, new boards, new foams, massages, things to help me make stuff easier, whether it's a BBL pillow, a shelf, like just different things. So it is a thing that is a mental thing, but I think once you get into the routine of it and you get home and you're able to lean on yourself, I think that everything will go back to as it should be. But up until then, we're going to see. But I think I'm going to do my real pop out at 3 months. At 3 months, I got some real big plans for y'all. But y'all going to see, we're going along. Because I'm a lot farther along than y'all think right now, because the way y'all seeing it, y'all not seeing it in real time. So I'm just letting y'all know. But yeah, so bear with me. We're going to see. We're going to get through it. And it's a process. But I'm just here to get it done. So I am going to start trying to do more updates and stuff. Maybe every few weeks or monthly, or when I get a new faja, and give y'all the breakdown of that. But if you guys want to shop any of the fajas that I wear or stuff, Definitely use my code on tributu.com. My code is GLAMMYSGLOCKYS10, so you can get 10% off your next purchase. And also, if you're interested in my book, because it really gets deep down, like it goes in depth, definitely go purchase that off my website, GLAMMYSGLOCKYS.com. And for a little itty bitty time, you can have a 10% off code that can say BBL Drizzy. BBL Drizzy. So if you use the code BBL Drizzy, you can get 10% off my book on the website for a limited amount of time as well. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoyed this series. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm going to see you in my next one. Mwah.